I don't want to alarm anyone, but it's almost time for the annual company gift exchange. But there's no need to panic, because we've got you covered with a bunch of handy tech gift ideas sure to catch the interest of all your geeky coworkers for less than $100. Starting with this. Supplying appropriate power for projects is a problem for any maker, and you can save them from digging through random bins of power bricks and converters with this USB PD power supply. You can dial in whatever power you need, up to 20 volts at 5 amps from a standard USB PD connection. And it'll easily fit in one of our tech sacks or LAN bags. And when you pair it with a USB PD power bank, it's a truly portable power supply king. Honestly, this might be the kind of gift that you bring, but then try to win for yourself. Unless someone were to wrap up this segue to our sponsor.
War Thunder. Pew, 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 pew. Did I scare you? Control over 2,500 realistic war machines from 10 major nations in one of the most comprehensive vehicle combat games. Play free alongside 70 million players on PC, console, and mobile with our link below. For my item, this may look like an ordinary charging brick, but you may notice it has an HDMI port. This is the AverMedia Core Go, a 100-watt GAN charger that doubles as a dock for your handheld device. You just plug in your device to the top USB-C slot, whether that's your Steam Deck, your Switch, your ROG Ally. Then you just plug your HDMI into whatever bigger screen you want to use, and now you've got display mirroring and charging. And to make it even better, the USB-A port on this can be used for peripherals like a wired controller or your microphone, and the last USB-C can be used to transfer data from something like an external SSD, and you can do all of that at the same time. So while it might be hard to justify because it is a lot more expensive than a normal 100-watt GAN charger, I think the extra features make it worth the upcharge. But I'm not done yet. If you can stomach the extra $40, you can get the Elite Go. They look very similar, but the Elite Go actually doubles as a capture card for that handheld device. So instead of just plugging the USB-C into your SSD like I mentioned earlier, you now plug that into your computer. And from there you can capture 1080p 60 FPS gameplay while still maintaining the 4K 60 FPS pass-through. So if you're shopping for an aspiring content creator, I think that the $40 upcharge is easily worth it. Other capture cards can run for almost the same amount of money without the ability to charge your stuff long after you've lost the interest in being a streamer.
What I have here is the SiPed or SiPed Nano KVM. What it does is act as a network KVM, meaning you can control your remote computer's keyboard, mouse, and see a video output without having to be directly in front of it. It's a nice small package, so it's roughly the same volume as an AirPods case. And it runs off so little power that you could have it connected to your remote system that you're trying to control, or run it off of pretty much any wall wart that you have just lying around. We have a OLED screen on here, which shows you things like your IP address and some of the statuses. It has some pinouts for serial control, letting you connect to things like managed switches. And you can even hook it up to your system's power and reset headers, giving you full power control over the remote system. If this one's too big or you don't need all of those features, there is a light version that cuts your cost in half and quarters the size. You do, however, give up the casing, the OLED screen, and the PC power control with that one. This is super useful for if you have a computer that you want to access fairly regularly, but you don't want to have to get to it physically. It will let you remotely connect to it from your main system. The other computer could be up in the attic doing some like systems control or home automation stuff. It doesn't really matter where it is.
This is perhaps the least techie thing we have here today, but it is no less awesome. It's called a Hero Clip, and it's a carabiner with a fold-out hook. And unlike LA's basketball team, this clipper actually wins. It's great for travel. Add a towel hook to the shower door, or keep your stuff away from the who knows what that's puddling on the public bathroom floor. Use it as a carabiner for your shopping bags, or maybe you can just dry your clothes, hang a light in your crawl space, or a suit in your car. Or use it as an impromptu headphone hook at your co-working space, you sexy freelancing son of a gun. And thanks to the multiple sizes, you can grab whatever fits your needs. I recommend starting with the medium. Some things to note though is that this can't hold as much weight as a standard beaner and is a little pricey, especially when compared to other large beaners. But because of that and its ubiquitous utility, this useful unit is great for any sort of white elephant gift exchange that you have coming up. Remember, don't bring anything to a gift exchange that you wouldn't want to go home with. That's a zero move. But this bad boy, that's a hero move. Hercules? More like Huncules.
I found my piece of handy tech while watching a miniature hobbyist tool roundup video from Ninjon, and it's awesome. This is the Fantic F2 Master Precision Rotary Tool, and it is great. Check this out. This little guy can Dremel away spare plastic, drill out barrel holes, do some light sanding, and do whatever the heck it is you do with this thing, because it comes with all of these bits in one sleek container. Oh, I didn't even know it right. Like, of course it does, because there's more in the back, but I wasn't even expecting that. This is actually the first time I've used this thing. I saw it in the video, wanted to order it, and just didn't get around to it, but here it is. And I brought my printed tiger shark with me because I already did a ton of work on it. The stuff that comes from Forge World or from 3D printers is often not perfect, and as you can see on these little circles, it's actually really jagged and stuff because I had to basically just cut out all of those parts, but now I can just sand it away with this guy. So we just pick out like a little sanding stick. I don't know what each of these grit is, but the reality is I've still got a lot of material to remove, so that's okay. This thing spins up to like 25,000 RPM. It also charges through USB-C, so no more carrying around stupid micro B cables. And then it's pretty easy to turn on. You just, and then there's 5 different speeds as well. And okay, 25,000 RPM is pretty noisy, but if you're just doing on the lowest setting, this is actually pretty quiet. This is resin. You should probably wear a mask. I'm not gonna take too much material off, so it should be fine. Oh my God, this is so much better than what I was doing. Oh. Do you know how much time I spent with like a little piece of sandpaper and like a file, just jabbing it in there, rotating it around a whole bunch to try to get these edges nice and smooth, and like, oh my God, that was literally, what, 20 seconds? And it's already done? Oh. I love this thing. It took literally like 2 seconds of use and I'm in love. Another thing it's actually really great for, like I mentioned, is drilling out barrel holes. And so this isn't like a Space Marine gun barrel, but I do have a bunch of bits of plastic or resin that are kind of just in between here, and I need to remove those. So it's basically the same concept. We're just gonna grab one of our drill bits. Let's go to the lowest power setting. Oh my God, that's incredible. That's so easy. Whether you're into minis or you just do a lot of 3D printing at home, I think this thing can replace a lot of the other tools on your desk. And the best part is it's on sale right now for like $65. I think it's normally about $100, so even if you don't get it at this time, it's still not that expensive considering you're getting all of this in one little package.
Oh, you're back. You've given up on streaming. And now you've decided to take up 3D printing, which you probably need to be aware about how to store your filament, which might bring up the question, how do I properly store my filament? Well, it's really important that your filament is stored in containers, since humidity in the air can actually be absorbed and then damage the material. And unfortunately, you may not even notice the damage until the next time you go and print. But you can easily dry it back out by picking up one of the numerous filament dryers on Amazon. But we like this one from Polymaker, since the container that is used to store the filament while it's being heated up and drying out is removable. Meaning, if you pick up a couple of extra one of these, you can swap them out as you need to. This one's done, set it up to print. We also like the containers that come with it because they have a really nice tight seal, making sure they'll stay dry while being stored. And the little pass-through hole for the filament means when you're not using it, they will continue to stay dry right up to the moment that you're ready to print. This will save you time when swapping material as you need to, as well as just in general waiting for it to dry out if you do need to. What printer did you guys get? Comment down below.
If you've ever gotten home after a long day of work and you just wanted to turn off your brain and game, but then you were forced to spend the next 10 minutes looking for your dang controller only to find it and realize that it's out of freaking juice, you're gonna want this next pick. A charging dock for your controller is one of the best reasonably cheap upgrades you can give your overall couch gaming experience. I do like the first party ones for both the PS5 and the Switch 2 controllers, but this 8-bit dough one for an Xbox controller that comes with a rechargeable battery pack is kind of a busted value. But god dang, there's a ton of other options for all kinds of remotes. Just make sure that you take a good look at those reviews beforehand. And if your budget has got a little more room, you could consider a full-on better TMR controller that comes with a dock, like the GameSir Cyclone 2. Both it and a dock would make for a wonderful gift.
Smart bulbs are expensive, and when they're not expensive, they're frustrating, and when they're not frustrating, it's probably because you're just using them as regular lights. Perhaps the best feature of smart lights is the ability to turn off that last light that you forgot about after you've snuggled up into a cozy little bed burrito. Being able to say, hey, rapidly and shit-ifying home assistant, turn off the lights, allows you to drift peacefully off into the anxious annals of your life where you can relive every embarrassing moment from the last few years before finally falling asleep 2 hours later. Bliss. And for folks who want that one feature, the SwitchBot bot is perfect. Use the included 3M sticker and attach it to any dumb switch that you'd like, and suddenly everything on that switch is Smart-ified. And it doesn't just have to be a light switch. This could go on your AC or maybe even your computer, so long as it's a unidirectional switch or a rocker switch. But hold on, Bon Jovi, how does it turn the light back on? Well, with this additional sticker that comes with a little plastic loop, the switch can press in and also pull out. It isn't a perfect solution, and if the thing you're trying to finger is a capacitive button, well, this can't do it without some sort of ugly modification. And it's Bluetooth only unless you grab an additional hub, and then you're kind of getting the whole complex smart home ecosystem, and that's a whole thing, and ugh. And for better or for worse, it's battery operated. But SwitchBot claims 600 days of operation on its less than common CR2 battery, assuming that it's used twice a day. It's for you to turn the lights on and off, not for you to throw light switch raves, okay?
As someone who's done a lot of work in pro audio, one thing you can just never have enough of is adapters. And these XLR to USB adapters are a great addition to my bag of tricks. If I need to connect a professional mic to a computer, this cable is all I need. I don't need to drop the $100 for an interface. The interface is built right into the cable. There's even versions that supply phantom power in case you're using a condenser mic. And if you need to run sound from the PC into a power amp or a mixer, try this USB-A to dual XLR male. Pick up one of each and you've got a ton of versatility for under $50. That brings us to the disclosure section of this handy tech video, where we tell you where we got each item and why we picked it. For the hero clip, Adam already gave his reasons and he wouldn't shut up about it, so it's in the video. We got the one we showed you on Amazon. Kind of same thing for the SwitchBot, really. For the filament dryer, one of our new writers is a 3D printing expert. He recommended this model to another writer who was having print quality problems when he was trying to use filament that had been stored kind of open for a couple of years. The USB power supply was bought for Justin, so we'd have a reliable portable power supply anywhere around the office. Ours came from AliExpress. The Xbox controller charger is something that pretty much all of us use some version of. We found this one on Amazon. The rotary tool was sent to us to evaluate before we took on Fantic as a sponsor for Short Circuit, and now I think Justin and Plouffe are fighting over it. Jake brought in a bunch of the nano KVMs for testing back when their firmware was still closed, and now that they've been open sourced and seems like most of the issues have been taken care of, we feel okay recommending them to you guys. Just take the usual precautions of any cheap IoT device. And finally, the XLR to USB cables. I think Adam showed them to me and I just immediately bought a bunch off of Amazon because they're super handy. That leaves one more disclosure to make, our sponsor.
It's time for Operation Seamless sponsor transition, War Thunder. You know it as an immersive combat game available for free on PC, consoles, and your phone. But did you know you can pilot 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, ships? You name it, you can blow it up. That's everything from 1920s biplanes to the sleekest of modern fighter jets. And these battles pack a punch. You're not just dropping your opponent's health to zero, you're completely destroying and dismantling their vehicles. Watch as they break apart piece by piece thanks to War Thunder's X-ray view system. They also recently launched a brand new mobile version so you can drive a boat while you're on a boat. How cool is that? War Thunder runs on the in-house developed Dagger engine, so it's well optimized for better frame rates and cleaner visuals. Whatever type of game you are, there's a mode for you. Arcade for those looking for frenetic combat, simulator if you want a real challenge, or realistic that strikes a nice balance between the two. Plus, there's tons of customization options for all of your vehicles. So join over 70 million players in one of the most comprehensive vehicle combat games ever. Check out War Thunder for free today on PC, console, and mobile using our links down below.
If you like this video, we've got a whole playlist full of handy tech for you to check out. And if you've got a handy item of your own, let us know in the comments.